Hey guys, Shroom here, and today I'm going to be testing the Ferrari F50 at Gold Max in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel, Furum TV channel, and Purple Team Discord. Links to all those will be down in the description, and I hope you enjoy the video. So the F50 is the Legend Pass car of the current season that is finishing up before the next season starts in the European season update, which by the way actually came out before the patch notes for it did, which is kind of funny. Definitely check out my video on that if you have not seen it yet. But yeah, the F50 is the Legend Pass car, and unfortunately, it is not such a great one. It's fine to drive. I had no issues driving it. It doesn't have any particularly bad aspects to it. It's just not terribly competitive. It's on the fairly lower end of B class, and even if it were in C class, it would only be about average. Its stats are similar to those of the DB11. It does drive better than the DB11, which I am definitely happy to report, but still not great in Class B. Now even with that, I did have some decent races in this car, which you will see in this video, but this was really only because I recorded most of them at the very beginning of the season. Like this race here, this may have been the first one I played, or one of the very first ones I played when I was basically unranked. So all of the Torinos that you will be seeing, for the most part, are, you know, in fairly low leagues, which was really the only reason I was able to beat them. I just want to be transparent about that, because I think a lot of times people may watch some of these videos where I test a much lower ranked car against higher ranked ones in seasons like these and think, oh, it must be super great, it's beating all these high ranked cars. No, it's because I'm literally in Rookie League. I'm at 1,030 something rating. I mean, this is the reason why. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. And this is also the reason why I like to test cars more often in regular multiplayer rather than doing it in this kind of MP2 where the competition is really weird and I have to resort to these methods of, you know, playing super early in the season in very low leagues in order to get decent races in them. So yeah, that's why I definitely do like to, in most cases, play in MP1 after recording MP2 races if I can. Now this car is fairly stable for the most part, except on some ramps. Here, I pretty much just let the car do its thing for 2 flips, finally stopped it when it got close to the ground because I was afraid it was going to wreck, went on to the long way, but it was definitely worth it for that cool stunt. One car of the update that is decidedly less stable that I also will be making a video on is the 600 LT. And when I was driving it, I could not quite put my finger on what felt so weird about that car, aside from the fact that in its day, or on its first Unleashed day, Paris was slowed down. They said that in this upcoming update, or the update I guess that just came out, they are fixing some Paris bugs. Hopefully that's one of them, but that's getting a little bit sidetracked. The 600 LT apparently has like a big hitbox. Race told me this, and apparently it affects the car's performance on ramps and stuff like that, so you get some very weird, just odd physics issues that you might not get a lot of in other cars. I'll be making a video about the 600 LT. I also have a video about the Diablo GT coming, which was a previous Legend Pass car, and then the Ares S1, also at Gold Max, which was in the previous update, but I just never got around to making a video of it. A lot of stuff coming soon. Also, my next video will actually be a new Asphalt music video. Will be coming out in, I believe, less than like 30 or so hours, somewhere around there from the time I upload this video, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, I have to give a plug to my latest stream as well, Asphalt 9 number 72, because, well, it was on April Fool's Day, and let's just say I put a good bit of work into something at the beginning of the video that I don't want you guys to miss. So as I mentioned earlier, the patch notes for the new European season update have now come out, but because I did cover mostly everything else in my video about the stock and max stats of the cars in the update, I likely won't be making another video about it. So I'll tell you guys now some of the main stuff. First of all, they're changing the tracks for the Elite class events. So for Class C, you'll now have Dam Buster and Nevada track. For B, you'll have Wildlands in Scotland. For A, you'll have Metro in Paris. And for S, you will have Frozen Route, obviously in the Himalayas, which is a very good track for S-Class cars. But this does mean that you pretty much will only have F5s and Bolides being able to do decently at all on that track. And this is especially funny because the new S-Class car, or one of the new S-Class cars they're adding in the European season update, Actually, the second one named the same thing, ironically, so I just called the 2023 European Season Update, or number 2, whatever you want to call it. Getting off track again. They're adding the Koenigsegg CCXR, which is incredibly overranked based on its stats, unless it drifts like incredibly well or something. But it's going to push out the Tuatara from S-Class Elite. The thing is, the S goes also out, so now the second and third fastest cars in the game will no longer be available to drive on one of the best tracks for them in the game. This just does not make a whole lot of sense to me, and is one reason why I believe the ranking system, at least what they use to determine the rank for Class S cars, possibly needs to be changed or something. I doubt this is going to happen this far into the game's release, but it's certainly something that I've had my eye on for a while that's never quite seemed right to me. The KTM Expo and the Kepler Motion will be the Legend Pass cars of the update, neither of which is all that great. The KTM Expo is the new second slowest car in the game, and the Kepler Motion is a fairly average B-Class car. It does have good acceleration though. And then in terms of the special events, the Jaguar XJR9, that new crazy high-end super fast A-Class car, will unfortunately be a Legend Pass locked special event. That will be toward the front end of the season. And then the CCXR will have a special event toward the end of the season, which will have 2 car hunts coming along with it, the Victor and the EB110. The Victor car hunt is definitely one that I might consider trying to go for, because that car is pretty good in Class A. And the Grand Prix cars will be the Frangivento, I think I pronounced that right, and the Maserati MC12. Again, neither of which is particularly amazing, but I likely will be trying to go for both of them. If sandbagging works as well as it did in the AMG GT Grand Prix, because I was able to get that car. Maybe lightning won't strike twice or even 3 times in this case, but I'm certainly going to try. I definitely have much better luck doing that than getting into tier 1 or 2 and facing up against a bunch of people who spent a bunch of tokens on a car that isn't even incredibly useful. Now, some people have wondered if I'm going to spend tokens on the Revuelto special event, because it turns out it's actually not a bad special event, which is interesting given that it is one of, I believe, the new B-Class Kings. It sits at the very high end of B-Class, and it's very good once you start up. It's not all that great at 1 star. But at the very beginning of the event, and there's another stun just there, at the very beginning of the event, there was a bug where people could just buy the packs for it without reaching a certain number of conditions. Then they changed it to 260, then 330, then they changed it back to 260. And Afik said that he was just barely able to have enough conditions to unlock packs for the car, so I'm curious if I'm going to be able to. I'm going to get as far as I can in the event to see. I don't really think I'm going to be spending a lot of tokens on it, as I would rather save for a card like the Valhalla or something like that, but we definitely shall see. Now, since we're coming to the end of the video, it's time for my general review about the Ferrari F50. It's a fairly low-end B-Class car, nothing to write home about, but it was a fairly pleasant car to drive as well. I just realized I said fairly a lot in that sentence, but I do not care. It's a okay car in the end. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!